Do you feel a sharp, burning, or electric pain running down your leg when you stand up, walk, or even try to sleep? Many people over 60 believe sciatica is just a leg problem, but the truth is, the issue begins much higher, deep in the spine, and no amount of stretching the legs will fix it. Hi, I'm Dr. Anna Laura, a doctor and physical therapist, and I've spent years helping seniors reclaim their mobility and independence. And here's the good news: you can relieve this pain. Today, I'll show you the only 3 exercises you truly need to decompress your spine, calm your nerves, and take back control of your movement without relying on temporary fixes or risky stretches. Aging is a choice, and so is relief. Before we jump into the exercises, I want you to truly understand where your pain is coming from, because if we treat the wrong area, we lose precious time. Most seniors I work with come to me saying, "Doctor, my leg is the problem." And I get it: the burning, the numbness, the stabbing sensation, it all shows up in the leg. But the surprising truth is this: sciatica is almost never a leg problem. It starts in the lower back, even if you don't feel pain there. Your sciatic nerve is the largest and longest nerve in your entire body. It begins in the lumbar spine, especially around the L4, L5, and L5, S1 regions, areas that tend to shrink and stiffen with age. When one of these joints narrows or becomes irritated, it's like pressing your heel onto a garden hose. The pressure isn't where the water flows out, it's at the point where the hose is being squeezed. That's why your leg screams, even though the true trouble is deep in the back. Now, here's something many people over 60 are never told. Disc herniations, the most common cause of sciatica in younger adults, are actually rare in seniors. After 60, your discs are no longer soft and jelly-like, so they don't bulge the same way. Instead, your pain is more likely coming from spinal stenosis, arthritis, or thinning discs. These changes are normal, natural aging, just like gray hair or wrinkles. But when the space around the nerves gets too tight, the sciatic nerve becomes irritated. The good news is that once we understand the true cause of your sciatica, we can stop wasting time with ineffective leg stretches and start using movements that open the spine, decompress the nerves, and give you real relief. And that is exactly what the next 3 exercises are designed to do. Exercise 1: the Z position decompression. Now that you understand where sciatica truly begins, let's start with the exercise I give to almost every senior who walks into my clinic with nerve pain. I call it the Z position decompression, and for many of my patients, this becomes their safe place, the position they return to whenever the pain feels overwhelming or unpredictable. Here's how to do it. Lie down on a comfortable surface, ideally your bed or a padded mat. Place a pillow under your head so your neck stays relaxed. Next, rest your feet on a chair, couch, or sturdy stool so your knees are bent above your stomach, forming the shape of the letter Z. Once you're in position, let your lower back melt into the surface beneath you. Allow your feet to become heavy, your shoulders to drop, and your breathing to slow. What happens inside your body during this pose is remarkable. Elevating your legs gently opens the space in the lumbar spine, reducing the pressure on the sciatic nerve. Think of it as lifting the foot off the hose. As gravity supports your body instead of working against it, your discs decompress, blood flow improves, and your entire back begins to relax. Many seniors tell me they feel relief within the first 30 seconds. For those over 60, there's an added benefit. This position also helps reduce swelling in the legs. If you point and flex your ankles slowly, circulation improves, even more perfect if you struggle with heavy legs or nighttime cramping. I once had a patient, Mrs. Clara, a 72-year-old grandmother, who had trouble standing long enough to cook. After using this position twice a day for 2 weeks, she told me, "My pain finally has an off switch." And that's exactly what I want for you. Stay here for 5 to 20 minutes, and feel free to add a warm heating pad for extra comfort. Use this anytime your sciatica flares. It is safe, gentle, and incredibly effective. Now that we've created immediate relief with decompression, it's time to gently open up the spaces in your lower spine, the very spaces where your sciatic nerve exits. For adults over 60, this forward bending movement, known as lumbar flexion, is one of the most effective and clinically supported ways to relieve nerve pressure. In fact, it is recommended in one of the most respected guidelines for treating sciatica in older adults. Before we begin, a brief but important note. If you experience new numbness in the groin, trouble controlling your bladder or bowels, or sudden weakness in both legs, please visit an emergency department. These symptoms are rare, but they can indicate serious nerve compression. To perform the exercise safely, start in a seated position. Sit on a sturdy chair with your feet slightly wider than shoulder width. Place your hands on your knees or thighs. Slowly slide your hands down your legs as you bend forward from your hips and lower back. When you reach your comfortable limit, pause for 5 seconds and take a deep breath. Gently slide your hands back up as you return to sitting. Repeat this movement 10 times. The key is relaxation. Let your neck drop, your shoulders soften, and your spine fold naturally. With each repetition, you may notice your leg pain easing or moving upward toward the back. This is called centralization, and it's one of the strongest signs that you're healing the right way. I once worked with a 75-year-old man named Robert who could barely walk more than 5 minutes before his legs tingled and burned. After practicing this forward bend throughout the day before walks, after walks, even during his grocery trips, he gradually regained the ability to walk 20 minutes without stopping. If you want to progress further, you can try knees to chest or child's pose, but only if the seated version feels comfortable. This exercise is especially helpful if standing or walking increases your leg pain. Now that we've decompressed the spine and opened the nerve spaces with forward bending, it's time to protect that relief. Think of your core muscles as the scaffolding that supports your spine. If these muscles are weak, the spine collapses into the same positions that irritate the sciatic nerve. But if we strengthen them even gently, you create stability and preserve the space we just worked so hard to open. Here's how to begin. Lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor or bed. Place your hands gently on your thighs. Now take a slow breath in. As you exhale, lightly tighten your abdominal muscles as if pulling your belly button toward the mattress. This is a pelvic tilt, and even by itself, it relieves pressure for many people. Next, keeping your neck relaxed, lift your shoulder blades just an inch or two off the surface. Hold for a moment, then slowly lower back down. Aim for 2 sets of 15 repetitions, moving at a comfortable, controlled pace. If you have neck discomfort, simply place your hands behind your head for support, but don't pull. The movement must come from your stomach, not your neck. Even the smallest lift counts. For some seniors, I begin with what I call the half-smile crunch, lifting the head and shoulders only a tiny bit, just enough to activate the core. And that's perfectly fine. In fact, I once guided an 84-year-old retired teacher, Miss Helen, who could barely roll over in bed when we met. After 3 weeks of gentle core work, she proudly told me, "I stood up from my chair today without pushing on my knees." That's the power of building strength, not muscle for show, but muscle for freedom. Do this exercise at least 3 days a week. The stronger your core becomes, the less pressure your spine places on the sciatic nerve, and the more confident you'll feel in every movement you make. Even when seniors perform the right exercises, certain everyday habits can quietly undo their progress. These mistakes are incredibly common, and correcting them often leads to immediate improvement. Let's walk through the 3 behaviors I see most often and how to fix them. Mistake number 1, forcing perfect posture. Many people believe that standing up straight protects the spine. But for adults over 60 with sciatica, constantly arching the back actually narrows the spaces where the sciatic nerve travels. This can trigger or worsen pain. Instead of forcing military posture, allow your lower back to relax. A soft, natural curve is healthier than rigid stiffness. When sitting, choose a recliner or gently sloped chair instead of a hard upright seat. Your nerves need space, not tension. Mistake number 2, overdoing walking. Walking is healthy, but for seniors with spinal stenosis or age-related sciatica, long walks can irritate the nerve because walking is an extension-based activity. I once worked with Mr. Howard, a 69-year-old who proudly increased his daily steps, only to notice his leg pain getting worse. When we added scheduled breaks and the seated forward bend from exercise 2, his symptoms eased dramatically. If you enjoy walking, take short pauses to sit, bend forward, and reset your spine. Alternatively, A stationary bike or pedal exerciser offers joint-friendly cardio without aggravating the nerve. Mistake number 3, avoiding mobility aids. Many older adults resist using canes or walkers, fearing it makes them look weak. But these tools actually protect your spine. A walker, especially a rollator with a built-in seat, reduces pressure on the lumbar joints and provides safety if your balance is limited. Even leaning on a shopping cart during groceries can offer relief. Remember, independence is not about walking unaided. It's about walking without pain. By avoiding these mistakes, you'll maximize the benefits of the 3 exercises and protect your progress long term. If you followed the exercises and corrections in this guide, you've taken a powerful step toward reclaiming your mobility. Sciatica can feel frightening, especially when every step sends a reminder that something is wrong. But here's what I want you to remember: your body is not failing you. It is asking for the right kind of care, and you've just learned how to give it exactly that. The Z position decompression eases nerve pressure. Lumbar flexion opens the spaces where the nerve travels. Core strengthening protects that relief and keeps your spine stable. These are not complicated movements. They don't require expensive equipment or athletic ability. They require only your consistency and your belief that improvement is still possible. I've watched seniors in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s reverse years of pain using these same principles. One of my patients, an 81-year-old gardener named Linda, told me she thought she'd never kneel in her backyard again. After 3 months of gentle flexion and stabilization work, she sent me a photo of her planting tomatoes with a big smile on her face. "I feel like myself again," she said. And that's what I want for you. Before we end, a reminder: pain does not mean you are broken. Aging is natural, but suffering does not need to be. Aging is a choice, your strength is a choice. Your independence is a choice. Every exercise you do is a vote for the version of yourself who keeps moving, keeps living, and keeps choosing freedom. If today's guide helped you, please consider subscribing so this information reaches the people who need it most. And if you still struggle with stiffness or aching in your knees, I've created a separate video specifically for knee pain in adults over 50. It's the perfect next step in your healing journey. Remember, strength is not just muscle. Strength is freedom. And I'm here to help you keep that freedom, one day at a time. If this video helped you or taught you something new, please like, share, and subscribe. Together, we'll keep building a community where every senior can live healthy, strong, and independent no matter their age. Thank you for watching. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and take care of your joints.